Yes, guys, welcome to a brand new live stream. My name is Conan, and today we're going to be talking about why your friends are keeping you fat, overweight, and stuck. So, you guys have probably heard this numerous times before, including for myself as well, but you are the sum of the five people you spend the most time with, right? You've probably heard this numerous times before, and if you look around and realize that those people are not who you want to become eventually, then you've got one of two options. Number one, stay the same and just do nothing and just continue on hanging out with these people. Or number two, outgrow them, right? This is exactly what I had to do to build my own dream body, grow my own business, and create this lifestyle for myself where I'm able to wake up and do what I love every single day, right? If you guys watch me on Instagram, Snapchat, where I show more of like the behind the scenes of what I do, obviously I work a lot with my clients. I build programs, I get on sales calls, but also I get to like travel around the world, right? I get to go to networking events. I get to go to masterminds, and I get to just surround myself with these people who are continuously leveling up so that I can also level up, right? So before we get started, I'm a certified personal trainer. I've competed in two bodybuilding shows, and I will be competing in two more later on this year, plus a High Rocks event as well. I ran three marathons as well. My last marathon, a sub 3:15 marathon, and I've also built a big business, six-figure business, and I've helped hundreds a busy man drop 30 to 50 pounds using the Barbarian method. But it all started when I decided to walk alone. So by the end of this video, you understand exactly why who you surround yourself with is either keeping you fat, unmotivated, and stuck, or helping you become disciplined, confident, and the leader you're meant to be. So here's the plan. We're going to break this down into three different parts. So make sure you guys have a pen and paper on hand. Take some notes because we're going to go nice and deep on this. So first point we're going to talk about is how your environment dictates your identity. Number two, why isolation is the most important phase of growth. And then lastly, number three is how to attract the right people once you do evolve into the person who you actually feel confident and comfortable in. So let's start with part one. Your environment shapes you. So to be completely transparent here, if the people around you skip workouts, order takeouts, delivery, Uber Eats every single night, and drink every single weekend, ask yourself this question: what do you think you'll end up doing? Right? Pretty obvious. You'll probably likely skip workouts too. You'll probably order Uber Eats as well, and you'll probably drink every single weekend as well, right? Because your friends are doing it, therefore you're more than likely going to be doing it because you do not want to feel left out, right? Especially when it comes to the group of friends, like you want to be doing things with your friends. But if your friends are constantly doing all these things, then don't be surprised that you wake up one morning with an overweight belly, lack of confidence, low energy, all these other things, right? So you don't rise to your goals, you fall to the standards of your environment. So just to share a case, like a personal story with you guys here, when I first started taking fitness more seriously in my teens back in high school, none of my friends really cared about health, right? They'd make fun of me for trying to eat healthy, right? I remember strictly grade eight, I tried to like really fit in with the cool kids, and I'd eat like junk food during recess and lunch so I could fit in with these people. I did all these things, but then when grade nine happened, I kind of made this realization where I really wanted to take my health and my fitness a lot more seriously. And my old group of friends saw me, instead of like ordering or like going to the gas station to get like an energy drink and like whatever, a donut or something, I would do that, and I'll just bring my own meals. I would bring like Tupperware containers. I would bring like healthy apples, oranges, protein bars. And they'd make fun of me for trying to eat healthy, right? And for also skipping some of the parties that they were having every weekend. And then also they're making fun of me for trying to work out, right? I was training two times a day, which does definitely sound extreme. But yeah, I trained first thing in the morning because I actually had a really good relationship with my gym teacher, and he actually gave me the keys to the gym upstairs in high school, which is amazing. So I was training first thing in the morning. I get to school a bit early to train for about 30 minutes, and then I'd actually train during lunch break as well because I knew after school was done, I was super busy, either having to go to work. I worked at a farmer's market at the age of like 15, 16, and I used to deliver newspapers and stuff before that when I was like 13, 14. And then I had soccer practice after that as well, right? So I knew I was going to be really busy after school, so I decided to sacrifice whatever, hang out with my friends in the morning time and at lunchtime to do my workout at the time. Now, at first, I tried to balance both worlds, right? Where I trained, but then I'd also still try to hang with people who, by the way, had no ambition. And guess what happened, right? Naturally, it just held me back. My habits started to slip again. My energy dropped, and I felt alone in a group of people going nowhere. So I made the decision to actually isolate myself and rebuild from scratch. So I essentially deleted distractions. I stopped chasing validation, and I started focusing on my own vision. So ask yourself this question, right? If your environment is built around convenience, meaning that your coworkers at work are bringing donuts and pastries every single morning, your friends skip workouts, and your family just simply doesn't get it, like they don't get you living this active, healthy lifestyle, you will eventually just naturally blend in. This is why so many people never get in shape, especially men after 30. Not because you can't, but because you're surrounded by the wrong people who don't want to change either, right? It becomes increasingly more difficult if you want to get six pack abs, but then everyone else in your environment, everyone else in your circle does not want to get six pack abs. Like you're just creating so much friction around your lifestyle, whereas you can actually make it so much easier for you to attain those six pack abs if you surround yourself with people who also on six pack abs, or better yet, with people who already have six pack abs, because you'll just start to pick up on their habits. You start to pick up on even like the conversations that they're having. Instead of gossiping, instead of watching news, instead of talking about politics, you're talking about macros, right? You're talking about calories. You're talking about meal prep. You're talking about how to make it easier for you to get in shape. Or it's like, oh, hey, have you tried this seasoning? This makes my meal prep taste so much better. You'll start to pick up on these things, and this will just make you achieving your own goals a whole lot easier. So when I first started my own coaching business, I literally had to spend most weeks alone. Right, this was when I was around 20, 21 years old. I had done social media when I was like 18, and then when I was like 20, 21, I got my personal training certificate. Started coaching people in person, and then eventually I started to kind of start coaching people online because I knew I could impact a whole lot more people. But yeah, I spent most of my time building up my business online alone, right? So while others were going out, I was just at home, either editing videos, studying, right, improving my systems, actually building programs, getting on calls, with my clients, right? So I didn't have a huge circle, but what I did have was discipline, right? And that's what eventually attracted better people around my life, right? I started to attract other entrepreneurs who were also building their business, started to attract more athletes who were also highly ambitious, doing bodybuilding shows, running marathons. And I started to hire and attract more mentors around my circle. And so as you can tell, just by me kind of separating myself first from these group of people who were quite honestly just kind of holding me back, I had to go through this isolation, right? Through this lonely chapter, if you will, which I actually made a separate video on. For several years where I just had to like double down, hone in on just my own, like on myself, on my own self improvement journey. And then eventually, as I started to level up myself with my own business, with my own health, with my own fitness, with my own just everything, I started to attract those type of people who were also doing that, right? I was no longer attracting fat people, out of shape people, poor people, all these other people, right, who were just lacking ambition. And instead, I was actually like attracting people who I myself was, right? One of the biggest things that like I tell my clients is that like your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So whatever your vibe is, like you attract those type of people. Whatever your vibration is, you attract those types of people, right? So once again, I was attracting other entrepreneurs, other athletes, and other mentors, right? And it's literally the exact same thing with your own body. When you decide to start living this healthier lifestyle, whether it's tracking your macros, waking up a bit earlier, and training consistently, sure, yes, you might lose a few friends, but guess what? You'll get a new version of yourself, a stronger, more confident person, and soon enough, you'll meet people who live the exact same way. And I don't know about you, but I would rather just like go through maybe a couple months, sometimes it may have to be a couple years where you're just on your own, grinding, doing your own thing, as opposed to staying with the people who are going to keep you stuck and out of shape and just like not where you want to get to, right? And so going back to what I said at the start of this live call, you have two decisions to make. If you know that you are ambitious and that you want to change, get into better shape, but you also know that the current group of people around do not want that, right? You have one of two decisions to make. Either sacrifice your goals to still be with those group of people, right? Or sacrifice the group of people in order to reach your goals. And I really view relationships and friendships not super transactional, but I always keep my goals at the forefront, right? So I ask myself this question: are these people helping me get closer towards my goals or further away from my goals? And that just makes it a really black and white answer for me. It's like, okay, well, this person clearly he's helping me like learn more. He's helping me, like he's pushing me in whatever way, shape, or form you want to view it, right? But this person he's a benefit, right? Like he's beneficial towards me, myself, and my goals, right? Whereas this other person, like every time I'm with them, I just kind of feel like instead of gaining energy from this person, I actually like lose energy from being with this person. I actually feel lethargic after being with them. I actually feel lazy while being with them. And I always end up just like going out whenever I'm with this person, or I just end up spending so much money on random things whenever I'm with this person. So I ask myself this question: is this person, is me hanging around this person actually helping me with my goals or taking me further away from my goals? And if you ask yourself that question, hopefully you'll make better decisions when it comes to the people you actually spend the most time with, right? So, like I said earlier, your vibe attracts your tribe. So once you start to level up, your energy will literally change. You start attracting people who match your standards, trading partners who push you, friends who talk about goals instead of mentors who hold you accountable. That is the paradox. You must be okay being alone before you can be surrounded by the right people. You're gonna have to be okay making that sacrifice. And sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you can just remove yourself from your current group of friends and just step right to another group of people who are already ambitious. An example I can give you here is run clubs nowadays, right? Like you just show up to one of these run clubs. They're really popular, especially in Texas, Austin. We got a couple here in Houston. But yeah, you can literally just like show up to one of these events, show up to one of these run clubs, and you're automatically already surrounded by this group of people who are runners, right? So if you want to start running a bit more, if you want to start running a marathon, right, you should probably put yourself in a situation where other people are also wanting to run more and run marathons, right? And the easiest thing I can tell you here is join a run club, right? Same thing with like the gym, right? Like the gym isn't just the gym, but most gyms nowadays actually like have this community behind them, right? Where they gather people around, they do events, they do all these things where you can start to network with people, meet new people, right? And before you know it, you start to kind of like attract this group of people, this tribe, who also are ambitious, right? Who are also working hard, who are also striving towards their goals. So you must be okay being alone before you're surrounded by the right people. Just remember that. If you're always seeking company to avoid silence, you'll stay silent. But if you can sit in silence, focused, and keep on building, you'll literally become unstoppable. So the reason why so many men never change isn't because of lack of discipline, it's because of this. They just fear being alone. And that's a really normal thing to fear, right? Because as human beings, like we want to be part of something, right? We want to be part of a group of people. We want to be part of a tribe. Just from an evolutionary standpoint, whenever we found ourselves outside of the tribe, it usually meant, right back in the olden days, it usually meant that you were at a higher risk of being like hunted by an animal or being killed by an animal or just being hunted by, right? Whereas when you're in this pack of people, you feel more safe, right? Because now instead of if someone wants to target you, they have to target the entire group of people, right? So 100%, I totally get it that being alone is not really something from an evolutionary standpoint we're really comfortable with. But it's one of the best things that I've done for myself, and look at where I'm at now. Right? It's like now I'm just surrounded by all these amazing people who have similar goals as me. Like most of my friends actually are doing way better than me, right? Like they are pushing me now, which I'm so grateful for, right? Because it allows me to level up every single day, every single day. I get to pick their brain, right? And at the same time, of course, like they get to pick my brain as well with some other things. So just think about it. Would you rather be alone or surrounded by people who drag you down? Right? It's just answer my question. But just remember this: your vibe will attract your tribe. But before you find them, or you find your tribe, you need to become the person who deserves to be in that tribe, right? So, like, literally, like, if you want to be around a group of millionaires, you think a millionaire, like a group of millionaires, like five people who are millionaires, you think they would allow like a homeless person to get into their circle? Of course not. That's so silly, right? Because like at the end of the day, like I said earlier, like most relationships, most circles, most friendships, like whether you like it or not, it's like yes, they are transactional, right? Like why would a circle of millionaires let in this homeless person? Like what value does this homeless person have to offer? Like nothing, right? Now, of course, like there's a time and place, like okay, well maybe you want to bring in this person because he's funny, right? But like ultimately, what it comes down to is this person actually providing value to us? And if the answer is no, then yeah, so be it, right? You're gonna have to level yourself up so that you're good enough to actually enter the room, be around those people. So, like I said, before you find these group of people, you need to become the person who deserves to be in that room. Cut the noise, build the discipline, and focus on your own group. Right people will find you once you have found yourself. Now, I myself, I would rather be alone, chasing greatness, than surrounded by mediocrity. So, if you're currently tired of being surrounded by average and you're ready to leave your family, your business, and your body like a true barbarian, what you can go ahead and do is get a free consultation call with me down below where we'll do three things. Number one, we'll look at your current goals, right? We'll see exactly where you want to get to, how much weight you want to lose, how much muscle you want to put on. Number two, we'll look at your current struggles. So we'll see exactly what is holding you back, whether it's the lack of knowledge, lack of accountability, lack of structure, lack of system, lack of everything. And then lastly, we'll create a game plan together to help you absolutely crush your goals in the next 3 to 6 months. So if that sounds good to you, once again, the link will be in the description down below. But if you guys do have any other specific questions for me, just know that my Instagram DMs are always open. So make sure you follow me there at Kotarski. I'll answer any questions, or you can just comment it down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So with that said, I'm going to wrap up this live stream, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.